Hi, my name is Andreas Mershin. I work at the Center for Bits and Atoms, and I am a research scientist, and my group's name is Label-Free Research. The reason that it's called label-free is that originally I was told that my group has to have a name that describes what we do. And what we did back then was label-free molecular recognition and interaction research, which is such a big mouthful that ended up being label-free, which was prescient. Having no labels allows us to do pretty much anything. We integrate physics, material science, chemistry and biology, and computer science, some psychophysics, which is a strange term, but all it means is how humans perceive things. And part of the outcome of this integration of very cross-disciplinary fields is the bioelectronic nodes that we call the nanonodes. The motivation for building this device came from about 2004, when a team from the UK published in the British Medical Journal a study where they showed that dogs can diagnose cancer by smelling the urine from patients with bladder cancer, and the negative controls being, or the positive controls being from patients without. What struck me was that these dogs could also spontaneously then trigger on different types of cancer that don't share any common biomarkers. It looked like the dogs were generalizing. They were feeling the cancery smell, the cancery melody, even though there were none of the notes, none of the frequencies were the same. And that was compelling enough because no analytical tool that we have now that looks at molecules by name and concentration can do this. We have no idea how they do this, and it is compelling enough for us to, for me at least, to change my entire career and go into building a nose that is designed to tell you what something smells of, as opposed to something's made of. And it ends up being that the difference is huge. If I give you a list of molecules that happen to be part of the perfume's recipe, by name and concentration, you will not know what that perfume smells like. But if I give to the dog at least the scent of cancer, or urine that came from a bladder that was suffering from a cancer, the dog generalizes to another type of cancer that doesn't share any of the biomarkers. We need such a device, and we would like to have it specifically, let's say, for cancers that are that are amenable to early detection. Take, for instance, skin cancer. If I have a mole and it turns into melanoma, if I go to the doctor early, they remove it in half-hour procedure at the doctor's office, and go home, live the rest of my life. My children don't have to become orphans. If I wait 6 months or more, that could be a death sentence. The disparity of outcome is so vast that that is a compelling place to where early detection is almost the same as a cure. Fields are for sheep to graze in. Okay, so there's never been a revolution in the field from inside the field. Interdisciplinary research means you're going after big things, and you're going from the outside. You can't be inside the field. I have never seen really much of revolution going in from the inside. If you're inside the field, you're already very happily grazing on the field. That's going to be your field forever. You're going to be the sheep, okay? So no, we come from the outside. That's absolutely paramount. The whole center here is built on this idea. Under one roof, Neil Gershenfeld many years ago decided a very simple concept, and it is powerful. Let's put all the equipment that is necessary to manipulate energy and matter at all scales, from nanometer or sub-nanometer all the way to meters. Let's put all this equipment under one roof and have people exposed to this and be able to handle this in one sentence. So we have biologists, we have technologists that are not doing nanotechnology, they're doing biotechnology, they're doing computer science, they're doing mechanical engineering, electrical engineering, material science, chemistry, psychophysics, art, all under one roof. The soup that ensues is very tasty, and it's very messy sometimes, but the stuff that comes out of here is always compelling, and it's always has you can never predict what's going to happen, but you can predict that it's going to be cool and it's going to be compelling. You come here in a year from now, and I have no idea what's going to be happening, but I know you're still going to find it compelling. That is testament to the power of interdisciplinary research. Also, it has never been the case that very focused research has ever really produced the big revolutions. Think of the people that we think of as driving big changes in science. Think of Newton. He did light, he did gravity, he did mathematics, he did calculus, he did these things. He did alchemy, many, many more. None of them are a single field. Think of Einstein. He got his Nobel Prize for the photoelectric effect. His passion was refrigerators, believe it or not, and his general and special relativity theories, which did not give him the Nobel Prize, had nothing to do with the other things that he was doing. This is not to be thought of as being flaky or not being able to focus. This is what true science is. Why would you want to limit yourself? Well, who drew the line between physics and chemistry and says to me, oh, up to here you can do because your PhD is in physics, but don't you dare step over this boundary and go into chemistry? Who says? I mean, I do not want to seek anybody's permission about what I'm going to do and what you're going to call it. I think if done right, science and art are the same. At the level where you have to invent, you're looking after truth, you're looking after novelty, you're looking to figure out how to do something that hasn't been done before, I cannot see really a huge difference between the two. The modes may be different, the way that we present it may be different, but the experience, I think, is the same. People ask me, what do you call yourself? Are you a physicist? Well, I say I'm a scientist. I'm not an artist. My stuff doesn't get shown in galleries. But when I go and speak and when I sort of do my presentations and I see the reaction of the audiences, it looks very much like I just played a piece of music. Corporations often have a problem thinking what we call outside the box or figuring out what the hell's going on. And they need to be shaken around a little bit. We need a movement of speaking truth to power, in a sense. We need jesters that will come in there and will say, okay, well, if everybody agreed that this is a good idea, now let me poke fun at it and make sure that we really think it's a good idea and we didn't just do groupthink. It doesn't matter which artist you put into which corporation, but the fact that they will be from the outside, the fact that they will provide, their job will be specifically and explicitly to not agree, that's compelling. If I were to be running a big corporation, I would make sure there's at least one jester in there that's allowed to be the fool, that's allowed to be the one who speaks truth to power. And the artists will be able to do it in a way that's compelling and emotional without being confrontational because they're not competing for the same job. They're not going to be CEO of the company. They're allowed to make fun of the CEO, and the CEO is going to get the ideas and maybe then pass them on as his own or her own or whatever. But yeah, that's the right idea. If you want your corporation to be alive and well, put an artist in there. It mostly comes because artists and scientists are, at the end, they're professional question askers. Scientists, we can easily say, our job really, if you wanted to boil it down, we're a professional question asker. The whole job is to figure out what question to ask. Artists, the same thing, I think, in the end. They also are seeking truth in a different way.